Today, we're going to look at another government inspection report. This one for a nursing home right here in the St. Louis area. The facility is Amberwood Estates Nursing and Rehabilitation, located at 5303 Bermuda Drive in St. Louis. State inspectors completed this survey on April 18, 2024. And as I record this in April of 2026, this is the most recent annual survey that we have available to us. I'm David Terry. I'm a nursing home abuse and neglect attorney based in St. Louis, and I've been handling nursing home abuse and neglect cases for 25 years all over Missouri and Illinois. Now, I'm not going to offer any legal opinions about this facility. I'm just going to read through what the government's own inspectors documented, and I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions. So let's get started. The first finding I want to discuss with you today involves a resident identified as resident 71. Now remember, residents and staff are generally not named in these reports. They're assigned numbers and letters to protect privacy. And genders generally are not provided as well, but I'm going to refer to this resident as she just to make it easier. So resident 71 was cognitively intact, fully alert, able to communicate. She had paraplegia and she used a wheelchair, which required 2 staff members and a mechanical lift to transfer her. Now, surveyors first observed resident 71 on April 14. She was in bed and she told surveyors that she had only been out of bed twice since coming to the facility. She said staff had asked her if she wanted to get up, but couldn't do it alone. She told surveyors, and this is a direct quote from the report, "They're effed up here, so whatever." Now, I cleaned that up a little bit. 3 days later, surveyors found her still in bed, eyes open, wanting to get up, with no staff having come into her room. A nurse confirmed there was usually only one CNA on the floor. That person would have to find someone to help before any 2-person transfer could happen. The nurse told surveyors, "They are short-staffed all the time," end quote. The facility in this situation was cited for violating FTAG 561, which is the federal requirement that nursing homes honor resident choices, including the right to get out of bed. All right, let's look at finding number 2. The second finding involves something that surveyors actually watched happen on 3 separate occasions. Now, a mechanical lift uses a sling to raise a resident from the bed and then over to a wheelchair. Protocol requires 2 trained staff members, one operating the lift and one keeping hands on the resident at all times to prevent them from swinging. On April 14, surveyors observed resident 7 being transferred. One CNA operated the lift while the resident was raised above the mattress, and the surveyor documented that as the lift moved toward the wheelchair, and here's a direct quote, "The resident swung suspended in air," end quote, with no staff holding them. 3 days later, the same thing apparently happened with resident 15. And in that situation, apparently in mid-transfer, the lift malfunctioned twice. Staff adjusted the battery while the resident remained suspended in the air. Surveyors then interviewed resident 35, who had just experienced the same transfer method. That resident said, direct quote again, "I did not feel safe swinging over the floor." And they also said that it was scary and that he or she was concerned about falling. The facility was cited for violating FTAG 689, which is the requirement to keep residents free from accident hazards and to provide adequate supervision to prevent accidents. All right, let's move forward with finding number 3 now. Inspectors cited the facility for failing to provide showers to 8 of the 21 residents they sampled. I want to read you what a few of them told inspectors directly. I'm going to use the he pronoun during some of these to make it sound a little easier than what it actually reads. So resident 17 was cognitively intact, told surveyors that he had not received a shower or bed bath in over a month, said he would not refuse one if it was offered. Resident 15 was admitted in January. He told surveyors that he had not had a shower since admission 3 months earlier. He said that staff often left him soiled and that he wants out of the facility. Resident 39 told surveyors that he had not had a shower in over a month, said staff told him there were not enough staff. The surveyor documented that the resident's hair was unkempt, stringy, and oily. Here, the facility was cited for violating FTAG 677, which is the requirement to provide care and assistance with activities of daily living for any resident who cannot perform them independently. So let's finish up with a fourth finding that surveyors found related to broken equipment that was left unrepaired. And we're going to start with resident 50. Now, resident 50 had a toilet that had been clogged and unusable for the entire 2 weeks that she had been a resident. Surveyors found a dark brown substance in the toilet on multiple visits over several days, and it was never fixed during the survey period. Resident 36's call light didn't work. When surveyors observed this resident yelling repeatedly for help, the call light was not activating outside of the door. A CNA described the call lights as, quote, janky, end quote. The maintenance director told surveyors that he did not conduct equipment inspections and was unaware that the department was required to. Now, beyond those four areas, surveyors cited the facility for several additional violations. They were cited for violating FTAG 684, where a resident had multiple open skin wounds, including stage 2 pressure injury on both thighs that had not yet been reported to nursing or treated. There was a violation of FTAG 725, which is insufficient nursing staffing to meet residents' needs, which was apparently documented across multiple residents over multiple days. The facility was cited for violating FTAG 756 when the facility failed to notify the attending physician of pharmacy recommendations for a diabetic resident who was on insulin therapy, including a recommendation for a routine lab test that apparently was never completed. There was a violation of FTAG 761 wherein medication carts contained multiple expired medications, and a violation of FTAG 842 where a nurse documented administering a medication that was not available and apparently had not been given. These are the government's own findings, documented by state inspectors over a 5-day survey in April of 2024. If you have a loved one at Amberwood Estates or you're considering placing a loved one there, I would encourage you to read this report for yourself. It's a public document and you can find it at Medicare.gov/nursinghomecompare. I'll put the link in the description below. But this is true for any facility that you're considering. Whether you're considering placing mom or dad into a nursing home or they're already there, regardless of the facility, you should go to that link and review the annual inspections and the complaint surveys that are available. Every report in this series comes directly from public government records, information that exists to protect families, but only if families know that it's there and how to use it. If you want to learn how to pull these records for yourself and for any nursing home in Missouri, Illinois, or anywhere else in the country, go watch my video, How to Find and Read a Nursing Home Survey. In that video, I show you exactly where to find them and what to look for. And if you're in Missouri or Illinois and you want me to cover a specific facility, just let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to try to get to that. And if you want to talk to me about a situation in a nursing home, you can reach our office at 314-878-9797. So watch for more of these videos and I'll see you over there.